Have you ever found yourself staring at your phone, wondering why that one friend, the one you think about all the time, barely ever texts you back? You make excuses for them, right? They're busy. They're just bad with their phone. But what if I told you the reason is far more calculated and a lot more powerful? It's because your brain is being hacked by one of the most potent psychological tools known to man: intermittent reinforcement. Back in the 1950s, a psychologist named B. F. Skinner made a terrifying discovery. He found that if you give a rat a food pellet every single time it presses a lever, it eventually gets bored and stops. And this is the crucial part. If you give the rat a pellet randomly, sometimes it gets one, sometimes it doesn't. The rat becomes absolutely obsessed. It will press that lever over and over, sometimes even until it starves to death, just for the chance of that next reward. In this friendship, you are the rat and their text back, that's the pellet. Today, we're not just going to understand this dynamic, we are going to break out of the box. We're going to cover the 7 critical signs you're being breadcrumbed, and more importantly, exactly how you can escape. So sign number 1 is called orbiting. This is when they watch every single story you post on Instagram. They might even like your photos or your tweets. But that text you sent 3 weeks ago, it's still sitting there unread. You see their name at the top of your story viewers list, and it gives you a tiny spark of hope, a little jolt of connection, but it's an illusion. So what's the psychology behind this? Why do they do it? It's low-effort surveillance. They want to keep a permanent foothold in your mind without ever having to pay the rent of an actual conversation. By orbiting, they stay relevant in your social media algorithm and, more importantly, in your headspace. This ensures that whenever they feel lonely or need a quick ego boost, you're still primed and ready to give them your attention. They're keeping you on the back burner without any real effort. Next up, sign number 2, they are constantly making plans for a future that never ever arrives. You'll hear things like, "Oh my gosh, we should totally go to that concert next month." Or "We have to take that trip to the coast this summer." It sounds amazing, doesn't it? The hook here is that these suggestions trigger your brain's anticipation dopamine. You get a little high just from imagining these fun events, and that feeling of excitement bonds you to them. You start to associate them with future happiness, but here's the reality check. If someone consistently brings up future plans but never, ever follows through to solidify a date or buy a ticket, they are not just forgetful. This is a deliberate tactic. They are feeding you tiny morsels of hope to keep you on the hook. A breadcrumber loves the idea of you, the idea of having you as a friend, but they refuse to invest in the reality of you. Let's move on to sign number 3. Notice the timing of their crumbs. Do they only seem to slide into your DMs when their own life is falling apart? When they've had a bad breakup, a terrible day at work, or some other personal drama? This is what we call transactional vulnerability. They drop a breadcrumb of "I miss you" or "I really need your advice on something," because they're not looking for a friend. They're looking for an emotional dumpster. They know you're reliable, empathetic, and always there to listen. So you spend hours on the phone with them, validating their feelings, helping them solve their problem, or boosting their shattered ego. And then what happens the moment they feel better? Poof, they vanish. They go silent again until the next crisis. In this dynamic, you're not a friend. You're just a portable battery charger they use to recharge themselves. Now for sign number 4, and honestly, this is often the most confusing and painful one. They'll have one single night where you connect on a level that feels incredibly real. You talk for hours, maybe until 3 in the morning. It's deep, it's emotional, it's vulnerable. You share secrets, you laugh, you cry. And you hang up the phone thinking, finally, we're close again. This is the friendship I knew we had, but then the trap is sprung. For the next month or even longer, they're cold and distant. Your texts get one-word replies if they're answered at all. This is the Skinner box in action. This is that variable ratio schedule we talked about. That one night of intense intimacy was the jackpot win at the slot machine. It was just enough of a reward to keep you gambling away your time, your energy, and your dignity for the next 6 months of losses, hoping for another big win that may never come. Okay, so what happens when you try to address the issue? This brings us to sign number 5, their reaction when you confront them. Let's say you work up the courage to send a gentle text, something like, "Hey, I've been feeling a bit disconnected lately, and it seems like I'm the only one reaching out. Is everything okay now?" Watch their reaction closely. If they reply with something like, "LOL, you're so overthinking it," or the classic, "I've just been so crazy busy, you need to chill," that is gaslighting. They're not just dismissing your feelings, they are actively trying to make you question your own reality. They reframing your completely reasonable need for reciprocity as you being needy or dramatic. A secure, healthy friend would respond with something like, "Oh wow, I'm so sorry you feel that way. You're right, I have been distant." A breadcrumber, on the other hand, will always minimize your reality to protect their own convenience. Sign number 6 is the excuse of being bad at texting. They'll tell you, "Ooh, you know me, I'm just so bad at my phone," or "I'm trying to be off my phone more." It sounds plausible, right? We all want a digital detox sometimes, but then you see them commenting entire paragraphs on other people's posts. You see them tagged in photos from a party they never told you about. You see their online status lit up green all day long. Let's be brutally honest here. The truth is, people make time for who they want to make time for. Their silence towards you is not a mistake. It is a message. It is a preference. Seeing and accepting this reality is incredibly painful. I know, it hurts. But recognizing this truth is the only thing that can unlock the cage door and set you free. And finally, the 7th and most frustrating sign, the comeback crumb. The moment you finally decide to move on, the very second you decide to protect your peace and stop initiating, they sense it. It's like they have a 6th sense for when your attention is drifting away. You stop watching their stories, you stop sending that just checking in text, and suddenly, your phone lights up. It's them. Usually, it's not a real conversation. It's a meme or a reel, or a single low-effort thinking of you text. This isn't a genuine attempt to reconnect. It's a calculated move. They are the censor. They drop just enough of a crumb to reset the clock on your hope, to pull you right back into the cycle for another 3 miserable months. So you've gone through the list and you've been nodding along. You've identified the signs. Now comes the hard part, breaking free. Your brain is chemically addicted to the hope of their validation. When you stop chasing them, you will feel withdrawal. It will be uncomfortable. You lines feel a powerful urge to send that one last text to explain how much they hurt you. My advice, do not write a long paragraph explaining why you're hurt. Breadcrumbers do not read paragraphs, they read power dynamics. Sending them a long, emotional essay just shows them one thing: they still have control over your emotional state. It gives them another hit of validation, so you have the choices for how to proceed. The first option is to match their energy. This is called mirroring. If they take 3 days to reply to you, you take 3 days to reply to them. If they give you a 2-word answer, you give them a 2-word answer. You simply reflect their level of investment back at them. This puts the ball back in their court and forces them to either step up or fade away. The second, and often more powerful, choice is the door slam. This is when you have the profound realization that you are starving at a table where love and respect are not being served. So you get up and walk away. You stop initiating, period. No big announcement, no dramatic exit. You just stop. You let the silence speak for itself. The simple truth is, if they wanted to, they would, and since they haven't, they won't. You deserve a friendship that is a feast, not a famine. You deserve relationships that nourish your soul, not ones that leave you constantly hungry for more. Stop settling for crumbs when you deserve the whole banquet. If you are ready to break free from these toxic cycles and start building the confident, fulfilling life you truly deserve, then hit that subscribe button and join our community. We're not just making videos here. We're changing lives, one insight at a time. Let's do this.